So hello, I'm Nick O'Leary, here to talk about Node-RED. So Node-RED is our visual tool for wiring the Internet of Things. What's the Internet of Things? Hopefully you're all very familiar with this. It's this basic idea that more and more devices are getting connectivity, getting intelligence in the devices. They can share data with stuff in the cloud. Devices like the Raspberry Pi, a lot of connectivity, really accessible, like the Arduino. Anyone can start making things, doing things, getting things connected. And of course, it being the internet, you've also got online digital streams like Twitter spewing its data into the cloud as well. So what Node-RED is, inserted a slide. When you look at a picture like this, you think, whoa, that's a big picture. This was a picture from earlier last year, someone trying to map out the landscape of technologies and providers in the Internet of Things. It's a few months out of date, so it is woefully out of date. But the point being, there isn't one company doing everything across the board, because the Internet of Things is from physical computing, physical devices, it's connectivity, it's moving messages, it's storing data, it's doing analytics on data, it's doing a whole bunch of stuff. Clearly we're in a position to do a lot of that, but the reality is there's a huge number of companies out there doing stuff. So Node-RED is this tool we created that tries to make it easier for developers to start joining together these different APIs, these different things, to build applications with some value. So here we've got a demo running where I've dragged on a Twitter node, so a node that can just talk to Twitter, authenticate to Twitter, get some tweets. I recorded this on the day of the independence referendum, so I thought, what hashtag would I use? And it looks like the video's paused. Marvelous. I'll keep talking as if it's still playing. We could go and look for all tweets mentioning the hash indyref. Stick into a Mongo database. Then what we could do was set up an HTTP endpoint. So whenever a web browser hits a particular URL, go and retrieve all those tweets. But rather than just give me the raw data, format them in a nice HTML view, so a little template node that can render that data, and then return it to the browser. If the video had played, you would have seen in 1 minute 30 creating exactly that app, a web page showing me the latest tweets mentioning the Indy referendum, without at any point having to write a single line of code to authenticate with Twitter, to render that view, any of that. It's drag and drop with a high level abstraction for those different capabilities. Moving on. It's an open source project. It's been open source for a year and a month. So we had our 1 year birthday at the beginning of September this year. So in that time, we've had just shy of 1,000 commits to the repository. We've had about, I think we're up to about 13 non-IBMers contribute to the project in some way. But it's moved on, excuse me, it moved on from being a project just of ETS that we've open sourced and we're developing the open. There is now an effort within IBM to do more with it. So there's now actually a group of IBMers being funded from Jerry Cuomo's office to work on Node-RED itself, to build it out as a platform for developers, making it easy to work with APIs. Just a graph of the last year of activity on the project. We are developing this completely in the open. So as a tool, trying to make it accessible for developers at any skill level. I still use it to prototype stuff, even though I'm more than capable of writing code to talk to serial devices or to talk to online services, but I don't want to have to write that same code each and every time. So using something like Node-RED abstracts away the boilerplate, and I can concentrate on experimenting, playing with these different APIs and creating the actual value of an application. Equally though, using it with school kids in education settings, again, useful for them because again, they don't have to worry about the stuff they don't know about. They can quicker get to the value of what they're trying to build. Working with clients to do innovation projects, again, a tool that lets you rapidly prototype and experiment. You can start building things much quicker, even if you then throw it away and start from scratch in just writing it in code because that's what you want to do for your production version. Having a tool that lets you experiment, prototype, play, just find out what you can do is of great value. Node-RED and Bluemix, I won't patronize you by telling you what Bluemix is because hopefully you're well aware. When you log into the Bluemix catalog, we have Node-RED in there as one of the boilerplate apps. So within 2 minutes of logging into Bluemix, you can have your own instance of Node-RED running in Bluemix for you to start playing with. You get the IBM Node SDK, you get a cloud and database to store your data in, and you're away. So it is an open source project. You can go download it, run it locally. It's on Bluemix. You can go start playing with it. And with 10 seconds left, I'm not going to let Lee shoot me. So thank you very much.